Okay. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Raw. Your friend, Henry Jacobson here, and we are ready for our next matchup. And our next match is going to be a triple threat number one contenders match. And it's going to be for the World Wrestling Federation Championship on the next SuperShow, which is a couple of weeks away. But with that said, here are the contestants. You have from left to right, Mr. Vince McMahon, the owner and chairman of the World Wrestling Federation, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Undertaker. And with that said, one of these three men will go on to fight for the World Wrestling Federation Championship, and that begins right now. Alright. And we're off. And it looks as if Stone Cold... Let me turn up the volume just a little bit here. A backside slam on to Steve Austin. Oh yeah, and another thing I wanted to mention is that Steve Austin has had his problems with Mr. McMahon, as well as The Undertaker, in the past. So, you know, these three men are no strangers to each other, and of course, McMahon, or not McMahon, but rather The Undertaker has worked in McMahon's company, the World Wrestling Federation, for a number of years. So they are no strangers to each other. They really are not. And a neckbreaker on to Austin from The Undertaker. Whipped into the corner is Austin. And a double underhook lock on to McMahon. Just looking at the paper here. I got the local paper here, and I'm reading this one article that I find quite interesting. It's not like me to do this on the job, but it's very important that I do. Okay. Nothing important. Alright, let's get back to the match. And wait a minute, The Undertaker going to the table. Now remember, this match is one fall to a finish. Whoever gets the pinfall first is going to be the one that wins the match. And there is no time limit, so there must be a winner. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So these three men will fight as long as it takes until there's one winner. And McMahon went for a cover on Steve Austin, but interrupted by The Undertaker, as both Undertaker and Steve Austin DDT McMahon, but then Austin gets DDT'd by The Undertaker. A back body drop onto Austin by The Undertaker. And now, wait a minute, a double DDT onto McMahon and Undertaker from Austin. And a takedown onto McMahon. And a poke in the eye, although in this particular matchup, that is perfectly legal. There are no disqualifications, no countouts in this match. So it can only end by pinfall or submission inside the ring. And broken up by The Undertaker. And an elbow right to the head of Mr. McMahon. Oh, and a low blow right to Austin. I mean, that is just cheap. That is real cheap, if you ask me. I mean, it's just so cheap. And then a DDT onto McMahon from The Undertaker. and then raked in the eyes of the Undertaker by McMahon. And then a punch right to the head, and a couple of shots right to the back, just pounding away on Austin. And down goes Austin. Now, anyone who thinks that McMahon is all talk and no show doesn't know that McMahon can fight. I mean, McMahon is he may be a bit older than most people, but and wow, actually Austin has been busted open. I didn't realize that until just now. And now Undertaker, it looks as if Undertaker and McMahon are fighting over who gets to pin Austin. And right now Austin is just doing what he has to do to survive. A kick and a punch right to the left arm of Undertaker. Then a facebuster again onto Steve Austin, and then a pinfall. Broken up immediately by McMahon. I mean, this is reminiscent of that match that we had on our last program on our old television deal, which was a triple threat match, and guess who it involved? Mr. McMahon. But it also involved the champion, then as now, Shawn Michaels. So I would think that McMahon would love to have another shot at the champion, only this time for the title. And it would be against, let me take that last part back. He will meet the champion at the next SuperShow, and an armbar onto Austin, but broken up immediately by McMahon. And a spinebuster onto McMahon. And then a stomp right to the gut of McMahon. And before he can even go for a cover, McMahon interrupts it. A back elbow onto McMahon. And a running elbow onto Austin. Another pinfall cover. 1, 2, no. Kick out by Austin. And now Undertaker exits the ring, and Austin gets whipped onto the outside, and then he gets knocked outside the ring. And now all three men are on the floor, and this is really where it gets dangerous. And I mean, the match cannot end on the floor, but it could. Or how do I put this? But it could, in a sense. It might. How do I put this? It's much dangerous to fight on the floor than it is in the ring. And Undertaker with those steps, using it against Austin and McMahon. Thrown into the barricade is the Undertaker. And Austin just doing what he has to do to survive. And wait a minute. A double... Oh no, wait, that was a backbreaker. I couldn't see if it was a chokeslam or a backbreaker, but it was a backbreaker. And rammed into the barricade was Austin. Now he picks up Austin. And Austin getting thrown into the barricade. And Undertaker, and he speared Austin through the barricade. And Austin has got to be hurt. I mean, he's got to be hurt, especially after getting speared like that. A DDT onto Austin. And Austin, if he wasn't hurt before, he's definitely hurt now. And thrown back inside the ring is Austin. And McMahon, as well as Undertaker, can smell blood. And for good reason. I mean, the man is busted open. And a punch and then a kick right to the back of the head of Austin. Undertaker gets back inside the ring. Alright, now all three men are back inside the ring. And quite honestly, the ring is much safer. It's safer in the ring than it is outside, as you can plainly see. Another facebuster onto Austin. Although, Austin, well, whatever McMahon has planned, Undertaker interrupts it with a facebuster of his own. And then an inverted backbreaker right to Steve Austin. And whipped into the corner. And, okay. And now Austin takes over. And a backbreaker onto Austin. Now goes for the cover. Well, just as soon as that happens, the Undertaker interrupts that and knocks McMahon outside the ring, leaving Undertaker and Stone Cold, although, okay, I'm not sure what's going on here. It's like a game of cat and mouse. They can't stay in the ring. At least not together, they can't. And it looks like Undertaker's going right after McMahon. I guess he wants to get rid of McMahon as well. And then a facebuster onto the Undertaker. Rammed into the barricade. Well, it looks like Austin and McMahon realize that the Undertaker is a threat. So it would be better for them to get rid of Undertaker as soon as possible. But thrown into the barricade was Undertaker. Or not the barricade, but the post. Excuse me. Thrown back inside. And then a kick right to the head of Undertaker. And now, wait a minute. Stunner! Stunner! Stunner right to the Undertaker! Although McMahon picks him up for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. Well, I guess he wants to get rid of Undertaker, I guess. Well, out goes Undertaker. But just as soon as that happens, two of the men, or actually now all three men, are on the outside. And as I mentioned before, it's you can't win the match or lose it while outside. You have to be inside the ring to do it. And a suplex onto the Undertaker. Now McMahon goes for the cover, but a rope break. So yeah, there's still the rope break. And whipped over the top rope again is the Undertaker. And then a punch right to McMahon. And then a clothesline right to McMahon. If anything, Mr. McMahon is in much better shape. He's the only one that left that's not bleeding at this point. A back suplex onto McMahon. Now goes for the cover. One. No. Kick out by McMahon. McMahon is in a good position to win the match. Oh, and a low blow right to Austin. And of course, you guys know about, you folks know about the history that these two men have had in the World Wrestling Federation. Oh, and a chop right against the throat of Steve Austin. But McMahon is going to go right back towards Steve Austin. Now all three men are hurt. An elbow and then a kick right to the back of the head, and now McMahon goes right after the Undertaker goes after McMahon. Excuse me, my fault. Oh, and a rake in the eyes of Steve Austin, but then a clothesline right to McMahon. And now wait. No, not even a 1 count on McMahon. I mean, it's probably going to take a stroke of luck, if anything, for this match to end. Because these men are beaten up, and now, wait a minute, Undertaker, nope, countered into a facebuster. Thrown over the top rope is Undertaker, but Steve Austin interrupts whatever McMahon was going to do. And, uh-oh, pile driver right to Austin. And a pinfall. 1, no, broken up immediately by The Undertaker. He was right there to make the stop. And a suplex on to McMahon. No, kick out by McMahon. And now, uh-oh, this is not good. Tombstone pile driver right to McMahon, and that could be it. 1, 2, 3, and Austin, with all the blood he's lost, was not quick enough to react to Undertaker pinning Mr. McMahon, but the winner is The Undertaker. So The Undertaker is going to get his shot at the World Wrestling Federation Championship at the next SuperShow. You know, all busted open and all, he's going to go. And I pity the man who is the World Wrestling Federation Champion the day they have to defend the title against this man, The Undertaker. And The Undertaker, as the lights dim and it becomes dark, that's what the champion has to expect when he takes on The Undertaker. But folks, we still got more matches yet to come, so stay tuned. They'll be coming up right after this.